Okay, 8th graders, hi. 7-3 on page 405. This is the Pythagorean theorem. I'm going to say it again. The Pythagorean theorem. This is pretty important for all geometry lessons going forward in your high school career. The main point of it is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. What does that mean? That means a squared plus b squared equals c squared. C squared is the hypotenuse. These are the legs of the triangle, and this is that. This only works on a right triangle here. There's other things for different kinds of triangles, but this one is a right triangle. A right triangle has one right angle at 90 degrees. The legs are the sides that form that right angle. The hypotenuse is the side opposite, and it's the longest. Okay, that's an easy way to check to see if you got something right. So squaring means you're doing squares, and then we'll be doing square roots, right? So I'm going to turn the page here. All right. I can talk. The Pythagorean theorem describes the relationship between the lengths of the legs and the length of the hypotenuse for any right triangle. Can't just be, this type of triangle. That doesn't work. Nope. It has to be a right triangle. All right triangles will have that little box in a corner. So a squared plus b squared will equal c squared. Here's our first example. And please use a calculator. If it's difficult on your Chromebook, try and see if you can find one online, because you don't need to worry about doing the long version of the math. Just use a calculator. So these are the two legs, 21 centimeters and 20 centimeters. So if you were to go 21 plus 20, you'd get 41, but 41 isn't the answer for this. Sorry, it's all blurry now. If you were to look here, there's no way this would be 41 because that would be the length of both of these. So just a plus b equals c? No, it never will. You have to square this one and then square this one. Add them together, and that will get you what the square of this would be. So to find the regular one, then you do one more step and you do the square root, which looks like this little guy, remember, to get your answer. So we're going to walk you through it here. Okay. So 21 squared is what? Take your calculator, clear it out. And on this calculator, you'd go 21, and then you hit just that button, and equal 441. So that's 441. If you have 20 squared, you hit that button, see with the little square guy, equal, you get 400. You could do it the long way and just get, go 20 times 20, 21 times 21. So if you don't have a calculator, you want to do the long math, that's fine. Add these two together. Well, that's going to be 841. That's what would equal c squared. Is this triangle 841 centimeters? No, it wasn't even 41. There's no way it's going to be 841. So what do? We then square root it. So it looks like that of 841. And you take, so on this calculator, what you do is you'd hit the second button. You can see it pops up there. And then you're going to hit the square root guy. So he's right above this one because it's the backwards of it. You hit the second to do it. And then you type in the number 841 and then equals, and you get 29. 29, does 29 make sense? Does this look like it would probably be 29? Yeah, totally does. Here's a tip. This will always be longer than each of these, even if it's by just a little bit. It cannot be double what these are. So your parameters are, well, it has to be bigger than 21 and less than 41, because it's just not going to happen. And 29 falls into that. That's a good way to check. Over here, they have a visual of it again. Here are the legs. There's that right angle. This is the hypotenuse. We want to find out what that is. So you have 12 and 16. 12 plus 16 will not equal what this is. That will be too long. But 12 squared plus 16 squared will equal what the hypotenuse, in this case, x squared is. They just keep saying c. You might be confused and like, wait, that's x. They just put x because they, we don't know what it is. So what's 12 squared? Well, it's 144. Oh, it goes all blurry. I'm so sorry about that. Sorry. There we go. Okay. And then 16 squared. So you go 16, then hit that button. 256. So you have 256. And I just realized I did it in the wrong box. So what they wanted here was 12 squared and 16 squared. So I just jumped a step. So this is 144 and this is 256. Okay. Now what you're going to do, add these two together. 144 plus 256. I'm doing this to save time. 400. So 400 is our hypotenuse squared, but we don't want it squared. We want to know what it would really be in feet. As you can see, this is with architecture. Pretty important to get that angle there. So what do? Okay. Second, then hit that. So it will square root whatever number you put in. Put 400 in, hit equal, and it's 20. You could also have just done mental math because most of you probably know that. 20 times 20 would be 400. They put that plus and minus because in some instances there could be a negative. There's no way this is going to be a negative. It's going upward to a house. So the ladder would be needing to be 20 feet long. Okay. Over here, I'm not going to do the whole thing. These are what you're going to do. 8 squared plus 15 squared will equal your c squared, your x squared. You add these two up after you square them first. You can't just go 8 plus 15. Nope. That's a no-no. So 8 squared, 15 squared, you'll get your answers. You'll add them together, and that will be c squared. But that is not what you do then. Then you have to take your c squared and you square root it, and that will get you what just c is. Okay. Oh, over here, this is if it's three-dimensional. It's just 12 squared and 7 squared. Add them together, you'll get what this length is, bc squared, and then square root it down to get it back. Over here, you'll see a lot of these on tests and in our next sections before we finish out the year. It's not that hard. They show this dashed line, which means this is the height of this triangle. This is a three-dimensional cone. Okay, so from the middle to the top, it's 34 feet, and this is 25 feet long. That's the radius. 34 squared, 25 squared. Add those squared numbers up. You'll get what this is squared. Then you take whatever answer that is, and you square root it down. And that will be how long this is. Okay. I'm going to stop there, and then we're going to do this next one.